Okay. Hi, good afternoon, Somya.
Hey Amit, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you. So, just for the listeners today, we've got Somya Kapoor. She's the co-founder and the CEO of The Loops. Now, I'm not going to go and steal your thunder here, Somya, because I'll let you explain what is it all about. So, let's start with that first. So, let's start before we go into that. Let's start with yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself.
It's always difficult to talk about yourself impromptu, but Somya, CEO, co-founder of The Loops. I started this company in September of 2020, right? I thought it was the company of the decade because you're starting during the downfall, which was during the COVID. Didn't expect 2022 to hit you,
Yeah.
but here growing, building the business out there. And prior to being at the Loops, I was at a different startup, and before that at SAP and ServiceNow. So I would say in the last 6 years, I've gone from being in big companies, carrying big titles, managing big teams,
Yeah.
to starting your business all the way ground up, fixing the desks and building a business up. So yeah, super excited.
Okay, so just related to that, I think you touched upon on a good point there. What was the idea? What was that moment where you thought, okay, this is actually something that I can make a business out of? When did that hit you? Was it something that you had for a long time, or was it one of those epiphanies, like one of those moments where it just hits you and you go on and you do it?
Yeah, so I'm a product person. I mentally, or I would say through profession, trained to look for problems and solve it. I've built 5 products in my lifetime, but this is ground up without a brand associated with you, building one up. And we're seeing this was living and seeing the space itself in some nutshell, right? Where people are trying to understand what is trending within the issues that are coming and hitting support. You're constantly trying to say why the customers agitated and returning licenses. We're collecting so much product usage data, but nobody's able to understand, but manually still sending surveys to customers and then manually putting people to constantly follow up on what's going on, right? So the loops, as the name kind of says, bring everybody in the loop, right? Is the intelligent CX operations platform that actually brings support, success, and product all within the loop to understand the customer's pain point, to drive customer lifetime value, to increase retention, predict churn. You can say multiple variations of that. But it's pretty much to understand what your customers are doing in your product and when they need help. And if they have any way to interact, how do they do that with you?
Yeah.
There are companies that have proven that. You look at Uber. I mean, I don't know if you've ever picked up a phone and called Uber. I don't even remember that. Or
No.
at Amazon or Tesla for that matter. If
Yeah.
you run into issues, you just get everything within the app, within the application. And that's what Loops is here to do.
Okay, so now the name kind of makes sense because in our day-to-day conversations, we use this word so many times. We say, well, what's the feedback loop look like? Let's complete the loop. Let put me in the loop. But then this is such a one of those words when you don't actually think about what it actually means to be in the loop, even in spite of using it there. So okay, so tell us a bit more about about the business, that you're doing there. So why would somebody want, or when is it that you find that customers come and look out for you?
So, we started with support. I think that is where the value kind of comes in. It's a data set that's completely unmined, where there's so much wealth of information with every support interaction that the customer is happening with you because they're completely frustrated, or, they're delighted with the experience that you've offered, or they're looking for feature requests, bug requests. So companies that are working at scale need to understand how to mine that data, and not only mine that data. That's why I said intelligent operations, right? Operations is pretty much downstream. Provide that information to success teams, to product teams, to engineering organizations within the workspaces that they're used to. So it's not yet another UI that I have to log into Loops and kind of get that. But what is my customer interacting with support in a day-to-day basis in terms of that's leading to their agitation? Because that's so super critical. I mean, I don't know, Amit, you do know, that support experience, and I keep relaying out this to everybody because there was an application,
Yeah.
and I don't log into that application for a startup. We need that application, so I'm not going to give that company's name out.
Okay.
But once or twice a year, I do log into that application. And one of my, it was mission critical. It was the end of the quarter. We had to get some of the approvals in, and an employee was waiting for something.
Mm.
I literally sent three. I mean, I sent the first day a ticket, then I sent the second day, the third day I did, the fourth day I literally called the support personnel. And you know what the support personnel said when they picked up the call?
Go on, tell me. I think I can guess the answer, but let me hear it from you.
They said, "How can I help you?" I was like, dude, what the hell? Like I've sent you 4 messages,
Yeah.
and you're asking me, how can you help me? Like, you should exactly know why I reached you, right? So anyhow, that experience is so ingrained in my mind right now of using that application. And there's so many numerous ones people have with their tolerance levels
Yeah.
that I was like, you're a SaaS application. You should exactly know every touch point a customer is having with you. What the hell is going on? But we're selling our services there, so it's good. Loops will come and help you guys up there. But that's pretty much what it is, right? How that experience, the nth node experience, is going to be very delightful. People can't afford to hire so many success people to throw on customers anymore. The market dynamics have changed. Doing more with less has become the new paradigm.
Mhm.
And I think, thinking through a data-driven, insights-driven mechanism is really going to help this market out a lot more, is really going to help companies, scale, grow while keeping the cost down. So that's what Loops is here to do.
Okay. Now you've kind of hit the nail on the head, and this is something that I think everybody will relate to at some point or the other. You have had that sort of an experience where you are frustrated because the company or someone you're trying to reach, or you've reached them, don't quite understand or don't quite know what the problem is there. And I think on the earlier you said that as well, where someone's sending out manual feedback forms. I mean, how many times has somebody actually sat down and honestly filled a feedback form?
I've never in my life. So I'll be guilty of that. And imagine the companies are relying on those CSATs and NPS scores based on those surveys, right? It was there. I mean, it was granted when SaaS was picking up as required, but now there's so much data that can tell you the agitation of the customer, the usage,
Mhm.
the sentiment with every support interaction, if it's changed or not. And capturing those elements and combining those elements in a platform is where Loops does it. That's why it's the intelligent platform that not only provides these insights, but
Mhm.
actually makes them actionable, right? If a customer is frustrated in a support interaction, and
Mhm.
then you figure out that customer's renewal is coming up too,
Yeah.
you want to notify a sales or a customer success person, but that gets lost downstream. I don't know how many product managers have come back and told me they're actually, literally going through every Zendesk ticket, and then they found, oh, a customer's now that's doable when you have, 50, 100, 200 customers. It's not doable when you have 5,000 or more customers or users you're using your platform, right? So it's a gold mine that's been missed out as an opportunity to understand. And it's not about, I think companies have tried bringing that together. I'm not saying they're not. They hire data analysts, data scientists.
Yeah.
But like I said, today you don't have the luxury of doing that. And
Mhm.
how can a platform make it easy for you to happen? And
Mhm.
that's what Loops is doing. It's a no code, low code platform that makes these insights, these support insights, actionable across organization, makes department, cross organization collaboration much more seamless, and captures the gist of what's going on in the business.
No, perfect. There's one more thing that I'd just like to kind of touch up upon. I think it's not a small thing. It's a massive thing now, which is when we go onto your website, the first thing that hits you is AI, optimized with AI, right? What do you think is going to be the role of AI going forward? Because this is one term that comes up so often these days when we talk about customer services, AI this, AI that. What is it? What is it? How do you envisage this going forward?
Oh my God. I think AI has arrived. If someone is telling me it's still nice to have and you haven't understood the value of AI, AI is a lot. There's a lot in there. There is NLP based, there is generative AI pieces, there is understanding behaviors on event data. There's just so many elements of AI that can be captured and leveraged in various formats. But if someone is sitting and saying, oh, it's a nice to have, no, I would say AI has arrived. It's actually a necessity
Mhm,
in today to be competitive.
mhm,
It is a requirement. And if you're not experimenting with it within your organization, you're going to find yourself, behind in a lot of things doing manually. It's not here to replace humans. I think that was the thing that was there 5 to 7 years ago, where chatbots came up and they'll replace human beings. And no, I think it's more assisted
mhm,
AI, where it needs to be in combination with humans and what it can offer to make their life easy,
mhm,
and improve efficiency and productivity that way. So you don't need to hire 100 people to do the same job. You can pretty much do it with 70 people, in a nutshell, but much, much more productive way where you can add, increase the efficiency. So where is this heading to? A long answer to your question, Amit. AI has arrived.
yeah.
It is not a tool, it's a member of your organization that you got to bring in and leverage to its core, without any issues and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh, it is quite right, and I think this is something that we find as well. So at Lingpad, we are massive users of AI, and we also believe in the same, which is AI is not there to replace a human, but it's definitely there to assist you. Um, I'm just speaking this from a Lingpad point of view now, and you can tell me whether how does that work out for Loop. So we get a lot of comments, or we get a lot of customer feedback from different types of customers, and I'd say clients, that they could be in different stages. So there is one stage where they've not explored, or they don't know that AI exists for our brand or our product. Number two is a stage where they'll use a little bit of it and then they want to expand. And these could be mid-sized companies. So I think the level one companies I'm talking about are quite small companies that they want to kind of dip their toes into the technology that they want to use. And it could be any technology. It could be Linkpad, it could be the loops. And then there are some established players who already use this but are looking for alternatives. So from your experience, what kind of customers do you kind of come across when they come across your product, or when they come across the loops? What stage are they? Are they from all three stages? What would you say is that sort of the level of expertise that your customers have when it comes to using the product?
Yeah, no, I think, there is, from a level that it is, I would say, for an organization, a support organization with more than 20 agents is an ideal fit for. That's when you need operations in place, because you no longer can, manually gather that data and share with other organizations. I remember someone telling me they actually spent 2 months dumping ticket data in Excel and manually tagging it to share with product teams. And I was like, oh my God, let me help you. But that's where I see the maturity, in terms of the size of the organization. In terms of maturity, um it doesn't matter on the volumes. I mean, initially when we started off, customers said, what was the volume, what kind. I don't think it really matters. If you start adding a data aggregator AI engine, contextualized AI engine in your platform, like you said, Amit, it'll just start telling you where the gaps are to begin with. So you don't need to expect 100% accuracy. Even the weather forecasting is not 100% accurate, I say. But if they tell you it's raining and you're prepared for it and it doesn't rain, at least you're prepared for it, right? You don't get wet, right? So that is where AI is. And I believe, so from a size ICP standpoint, I think anybody can leverage the loops.
Mhm.
Typically, you get the need when you're beyond 20. Doesn't mean that if you're a 10-person organization, you don't feel the need, you do. But I think that's where your operations are a little bit getting out of hand, where you can't manually, work them in any analytics tool or in Excel sheets or anything like that. And if you're doing that, oh my God, please get a tool, make an investment.
Do you know, I so love that analogy that you just gave there. I'm going to use it every time when someone talks about AI, which is the weather and the rain. It's you're so right. I mean, there is an expectation that AI needs to be 100% all the time, but that's not the case. And this is what it is. But okay, the next question I have is, we're talking about customer service or customer experience roles here. Who would you say would be the ideal user, or people who would use, what kind of roles in these businesses or organizations would this product or the loops appeal to?
So I think from a setup standpoint, it's typically a CX professional, right? So that CX leader, manager, director level, VP level, it varies from small to large enterprises where you're seeing it at. We've also seen success people really excited about it because they get deeper insights on support data as well as product usage data elements as well. So I would say it's both pronged, both over there. But it's typically the CX professional in terms of a manager or director says, this is what I want. But the consumption of the insights could be anybody from product engineering, success teams, and even downstream, even for the agents, right? It could be really, really exciting for them. So it's from a buying standpoint, I would say it's a CX professional that feels the need.
Okay, so no, I mean, again, this is something again that we kind of find as well. So the majority of the product users for Lingpad tend to be CX or CX roles. So again, that's where we find AI and assisted translation services or multilingual translation services being used there. So that's something that we do. Okay, right. I've got a few more questions for you. I'm not going to take too long. Okay, so this is what it is. So in terms of metrics, right? Because everybody these days in customer service is all about metrics. It's about measurement. It's about numbers there. What could you give us some sort of a case study? Is there anything that comes to your mind whereby, and you don't have to name any companies, right? You could say company X, company Y. They had a certain standard, or they had a certain CSAT score, or they had a certain metrics, and it improved using the loops. And why did it happen, you think? So just a kind of real life example that you can share with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can share that with PayPal that was using us, that increased their CSAT experience 2 point. Now, PayPal is the ultimate user of a loops platform. I like to tell customers you are on a journey of using loops. First, you make it proactive. You gather insights from your support data. Then you contextualize this. That's a personalized experience. You contextualize that data with other data sources, your CRM, your bug tracking, to provide insights to cross organizations. And then using the product usage data in product itself, you can offer support that's completely preventative in nature. Because when you come and ask for help, now imagine a help system in your product saying, oh, I understand what you were facing. I know, maybe let me recommend you with this knowledge article. Or you know what, I have an agent waiting that can really help you resolve this issue, because there's completely, you have that connectivity from the application downstream to your support system, right? That would be a beautiful experience. But that is what PayPal offered. Using the Loops platform in kind of, combining the NLP aspects of support and mapping that to the customer journey with the event data and understanding behaviors of when to offer help in product, which is more preemptive, as opposed to, remember that annoying clip art in Microsoft like about 20 years ago? Can I help you? Can I help you? And you have to just disable it, right? But these are more smarter ones now. And that experience fundamentally just changes. So yeah, if we increase it by 2 basis points for them, what they are doing is for at least 3 use cases. One is fraud detection. There's other 2s. Whenever you're looking for help, they actually understand the user, the customer. So they have 2 customers. They have users, consumers, and then they have vendors as well, which is the B2B arm and the B2C arm of the business. So that being said, they were able to offer a conversational interface. We're not the conversational interface. We're the Tulio service in the back end, like we call it.
Yeah.
That contextualized the data in real time and offered help for their use cases, and pretty much eliminated, not only the ticket volume, but also increase the CSAT experience, because we were able to hand it over to the right agent and at the right time and at the right persona of the customer. So if a customer is trying to transfer $1 million, please don't give me a chatbot. Like, it's not going to help. It's going to frustrate the person. But, Give me a live agent that can help me if I'm running into issues and guide the agent in resolution of that. But if I'm transferring $50, yes, you can help me in assisted support, with the chatbot in the product. But now it's changed, right? It's Chat GPT. You don't need to
Yeah, yeah.
give a knowledge article. You can say, by the way, here are the 3 steps. Can you take them? Um, that's where I think we were able to add a lot more,
Mhm,
and show the value of the Loops platform. But we have other customers like Bloomreach User Testing that are using us,
mhm.
and seeing the value of the Loops itself.
No, fantastic. Because we could talk about these benefits all the time, but what I find is that when you have a real life scenario, it kind of helps put things into perspective as well that way.
Yeah.
Um, the other question that I have is, so at Lingpad, again, just like you said, we cater to a variety or a multitude of customers, with different requirements. So there is always this question about customization. Certain customers want certain customizations to suit their processes. It could be in the form of dashboards, could be in the form of features, could be in the form of functions. Now, we are sort of lucky in the sense that we do have a technical team that can kind of do this for our customers. We can provide some sort of customizations up to a certain level. Now, is that something that you come across as well with the loops?
Yeah, no, we do actually. That's true, right? Because everybody's systems are different.
Mhm.
And your system of records are getting a lot more customizable, configurable. And that also, people building AI platforms need to take into account as well, because the data model could be varied. What is the beauty of it is if you've created a platform with a data model that maps to the variability of coming of these systems, then the AI application and running of that becomes much, much more easier. Because then what I do have to do, this is a support data model that we've built, or let's say, CX data model that we've built. And now you give me support data, it's going to give you this insight. If you give me CRM data contextualized with support data, it's going to give you this insight. If you give the CRM support usage data, it is going to give you this insights, right? So that becomes much, much more easier to do in terms of customization and how you make it low code,
Mhm.
no code. I don't know if no code is going to be the answer for our platform, but low code. How
Yeah.
can you make it drag and drop? Increases the adaption purposes, because people can do this in their environment with their systems. But what are you going to do? I mean, there's actually a McKinsey study, predictive CX,
Okay.
prediction in CX, or prediction in CX has arrived. And they said, in that study itself, that a customer that hired 12 to 16 data scientists
Okay.
in 3 months was able to increase customer satisfaction by up by 800 data points and 40, was able to, somewhere around the CSAT, 800 points upward, and this thing. But look at the cost that you
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
of putting that in. 12 to 16 data scientists, 1.5 to 2 million easily.
Yeah.
3 months, managing, maintaining something like this, and you're getting something like this with a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you use a tool? Why would you want to build it in-house? Yes, it's always a pain sometimes working and adapting these tools to your environment, but when they do, you're not dealing with management and extensions, and you're outsourcing that. So that's the value add of being in the SaaS world.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. That's true. And again, it kind of puts things into perspective. Why would you want to do that? This is why you would want to do that is, resources, time. I think more than money is the time that you save doing that and the resources that you could have employed elsewhere doing something else within the business there. Okay, now you did mention the McKinsey report. So I just have a question, just in tandem with that, which is how do you keep up with what are the trends in the customer service industry or the customer experience industry? Are there any events? Are there any blogs? Are there any so-called gurus that you follow? Or how does Somya keep up to date with that?
We've been blessed with having some really good CX leaders that are forward thinking as part of our advisory council. We have Christy from Bloomreach, Ben from Netscope, Camille from Disco. So, that are our eyes and ears. And then also John Ragsdale, as an analyst from the TSIA, has been, very much engaged with our organization as well. So, just having your folks out there, and then, having backings of strong VCs that are connected in this area kind of keeps us engaged in terms of learning what's going on. But apart from this, there are events like Support Driven,
Uh-huh.
Elevate CX.
Yeah.
There is also TSIA organizations that we constantly keep going into and tapping into to leverage, what is going on, what are the people talking, what are the customers complaining about, and things like that.
So are there any events that we might bump into you? Is there something that you're planning on attending this year? Do you have anything on your schedule for next?
Yeah, so in April we're going to Support Driven in we're also attending Elevate CX. So we're out there wherever there is an event. I think the COVID has just put us so back in the shell that I'm just waiting and bursting. Even if we're not marketing actively to the event, I'm like, I'm out here, people. Let's connect. Let's get a coffee.
Right.
Let's talk. I'm not going to be pitching. I'm not going to sell you my product, but I just want to understand your pain that you're trying to resolve. So yeah,
It's all about conversations, isn't it? That's all it is.
it is.
Gone are the days of the salesman where you'd go and you'd pitch your product and that would sell. It doesn't work that way anymore,
No,
does
it
it?
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's relationships. Yeah.
Okay. Now, since we're talking about AI and we being a sort of a translation management system there, I just want to understand what do you see, or I mean, just your insights and thoughts on multilingual customer service. Is that something that you guys have come across? Is that something that you see as a benefit? Do you see any challenges? What are your thoughts on multilingual customer services?
No, absolutely a requirement, right? I mean, tell me one company that's not global, that we're selling to, you're selling to, apart from the local small mid-sized businesses, every company today is global and needs to tap into global audiences
Mhm.
to reach the benefit. So, I don't think people have the capacity and the bandwidth to hire every expert from every language to build there. The need for multilingual services is a massive
Mhm.
for organizations that go beyond, I think, 15, 20 customers. I mean, it's pretty upfront. You can talk about your ICP here,
Yeah.
but absolutely, it's not even a question about do I need it? It's a necessity when you're growing up and growing, expanding into this global environment.
Okay. And let's say, for instance, I mean, all I can think of right now from a multilingual perspective is that, let's say you gave us an example of Zendesk and you gave us an example of going through thousands or hundreds of tickets. What if those tickets were in different languages? Would Loops still be able to kind of analyze it effectively as it would do with English as well?
Yes, it is. So it does have, the primary languages, because the models that we're using in the back end are multilingual in the sense, but you do need some kind of, extractions and Upwork required and stuff like that. So it is multilingual at this point. We do test and kind of validate, but we're still primarily supporting English
Okay.
as a vendor.
Okay, fair enough. No, thank you. Thank you for that. Now, well, I think that's pretty much the questions that I have for you. But before we end, we have a little bit of a trivia section. Okay. Okay. So these are questions that we random, and this is would you rather? Have you come across that? Would you rather? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got 5 would you rather questions. Okay. Completely not based on the subject. They can be random. They're very random. So here we go. Are you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you rather speak in rhymes or speak in riddles?
Riddles.
Riddle, okay. That's an interesting one. The next one is, would you rather listen to an annoying laugh for the whole day or get tickled for just an hour?
Tickled for an hour.
Okay, you took the easy way out. Okay. Okay, if you were to be reincarnated, would it be a sea creature or an airborne creature?
Ooh, sea creature.
Okay, okay. And would you rather give up social media forever for the rest of your life or eat the same dinner for the rest of your life?
Oh my God. Uh, give up social media.
All right. Okay. And the last one is, who would you team up with, Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel?
Wonder Woman. Of
Wonder
course,
Woman.
she's got the superior
Great.
powers.
No, that was brilliant. No, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Somya. I just hope, it kind of lightened the mood a bit there. But no,
It
thank you.
did.
Thank you.
No, thank you for doing this. It's been great, and thank you. And I'm sure we're going to work together at some point.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Somya. And I really love the idea of the product that you have. I hope at some point we're kind of big enough to be able to use that because it's so clever.
Oh
That
yeah, no, absolutely. I think both ways, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching this video in our podcast series. Please do let us know in the comments whether you like the video or if you have any suggestions. We have an amazing list of guests lined up for you in the coming few weeks. Please do like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you and see you soon. Bye-bye.